Welcome to All Eyes on You, the podcast where no one knows what's happening except for you. Today I have Nicole again and Jermaine again. They're here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to me. I was thinking earlier, and that scared me. Thinking. That was enough to scare me.
The brain power is too high, too much.
Sometimes, honestly. Like, because I... Alright, this is going to be off to a weird start already, but... So when were you conscious as a kid?
I became conscious when I fell into the water with my sister in our shore house in Brigantine. We went outside to play, and we were playing on the rocks by the boat ramp, and it was covered in moss, and our mom told us not to go outside and play first off, but we convinced her to let us out. And we went too close to the boat ramp, and then I fell in, and then my sister I think fell in first, and then she was holding on to like one of the what is it? There's wooden pegs in the ground, basically. Yeah, that you tie the.
What are those? I forgot what they're called.
I don't know, but
A hitch.
yeah,
No.
it's something. It's something you tie
Water
the boat up to.
Hitch, the boat hitch.
But so she's holding on to it. She's like, I'm about 5 or 6. She's maybe 4.
Oh my God.
Damn.
She's holding on to it, and I'm trying to get her out. I try to use one of my mom's paddles for her kayaks or whatever, and I drop that in the water. So bye to that. But then I fall in because I slip. So then I'm holding on to my 4-year-old sister's arm, and we're both holding on to this thing, and somehow she manages the string. Also, it's like storming at this point, so the water is like hitting us. And so
it's an origin story.
yeah, this is an origin
my
story.
God.
This is my life origin story, or my anxiety origin story. I'm not sure. But she somehow manages with her 4-year-old strength to pull us out of the water.
4-year-old strength.
And then we went and we're both crying, and we go back in the house soaking wet, and our mom beats our ass. So
What the
yeah, because she told us not to do some shit that we
That's
did.
when you became conscious?
Yes, that's a memory that I have very vividly.
Oh my God. How about you, Jermaine? Can you top that?
No, mine is pretty simple. I woke up from a dream where I had a big afro. I woke up in my dream and then
Yeah?
woke up in real life.
Did you also have a big afro then?
No.
Okay.
No.
Those are such...
That's how I know it was a transition from a dream to like me waking up, because it was the dream of me with a big fro, and then the next moment I'm waking up, going to the bathroom, looking myself in the mirror, going, I don't have a fro.
Oh my God.
That's kind of freakier though. I don't know. That one's kind of freakier.
That's freakier than almost dying.
Well, because it's like that's a true moment of just like all of a sudden attaining consciousness.
Oh my
Mine
God.
was more like trauma that I remember, and that's like that's the first sort of memory I can think about. I don't know if I can't remember the moment of like consciousness hitting me.
I was just going to say, all I remember is laying in bed at night thinking, why am I alive? Why am I the person who's looking out of the eyes and everything? And I was doing that at like 5. And it was really weird because I would walk around the playground being really like depressed and like emotional and being like, what is life? But that's, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway. Next
Sure,
question.
that's a film right there.
That's a film right there in
That's
itself.
a film in itself. Both of them
My
is just
sister-
completely
my
different
sister-
films.
My sister always tells me I tell it wrong too. She says I remember that I make up like the facts of it wrong, because she says like, oh, like I was the one that pulled us out, because like at one point I thought it was me that pulled us out, because obviously that would make sense that the 6-year-old could pull the 4-year-old out and not the 4-year-old pulling both her and the 6-year-old out. But apparently,
I mean, at the
it was
moment,
her.
I'm sure it could have been a joint effort. It probably was. Or mermaid.
Or a mermaid.
A mermaid. Loch Ness monster.
That's a way to make it seem nicer than 2 children that could have just drowned at sea in the bay.
Maybe you became mermaids. Maybe you HTO.
Sometimes,
H2O.
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I wonder if we did die. You know? Like
See, I think
have a
about
few
that.
moments in my
You
life
know?
where I think that,
where I'm like, wow, I totally died in that moment.
You died, and this is just like an alternate reality or something.
This is just
my God.
yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about that. Like, what if every moment where we almost die is just a branch off of the reality?
I mean, it could be. My two, like, I have two confirmed that I believe I might have died. One when I was like between the ages of 3 and 6. My cousin and I were fighting, and he pushed me into the edge of a glass table, and it like pierces my skull, and I believe I died. There's no way I survived that.
Holy shit.
Because they had to staple my head together, then sew it together, and all this crazy stuff. And then the second time it was the night of my birthday, and I got into a car crash. And the car crash was so bad that the cop was like, yeah, you should have died. And I was like, I don't even know if I did, because literally...
That's like Happy Death Day.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Accident, I'm turning to make a turn, and there's no car on down the street. I go to make the turn, and all of a sudden, in a flash, a car hits me. And I stop for a second, and then I get back up and look around, and God. I'm in this crash. There's no way.
You just jumped into another reality in that moment. Oh my God.
I got hit by a ceiling fan once.
You got hit by a ceiling fan? How come everyone's out here almost dying?
Honestly, yeah, my sister, she did close the trunk of the car right on top of my head. It didn't close all the way, but it just hit me so hard.
Oh my God.
I'm convinced in that moment I probably died, because that had to have like hurt really
bad.
bad.
Used to have a bunk bed. I was looking over like, hi guys, and it was right near the fan, so I just went hit and I got knocked out immediately.
Oh my God!
That's the only time I've ever been to the hospital. Ever.
Yeah, I don't like hospitals.
What?
Near-death experiences are pretty much like pretty common.
I'm noticing they are. Like, I almost drowned.
I mean, you think about it every day, you could almost die.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. Because, like, at any moment, you could just cease to exist.
Right now, a meteor could hit us while we're filming this.
Yeah.
Or we could drown.
Or we could
drown in what, Dylan? Hold on. I want to hear this. Drown in what right now?
A massive mud flood.
Hey, this basement floods. You never
It doesn't flood that much.
There's
now
an
you just
open
disclose
door.
we're in a basement. They don't know we're in a basement. Now they know.
We're in the bat cave.
This is the bat. It's very, well, there's no bats in here. I like bats, though. Bats are fun.
I meant like the bat cave, not a bat cave.
Well, you gotta clarify which one you're talking about. Like, are you talking about like the Patterson? You talking about the Affleck? You're talking about Lego Batman? Because there's a preference that I have, and it's not what you think.
I'm talking about the what was his name? Michael Keaton.
I prefer the Lego Batman personally.
But Michael Keaton was also Mr. Mom, so he's a special place in my heart because I like that movie.
And he was also Vulture from
He was.
Spider-Man. And
He was also
I love him in that role.
he was also
Birdman.
Birdman.
Yeah.
I was gonna
And he was
say.
Batman again.
Yeah.
But
He plays a lot of flying characters.
Yeah.
I've
he
noticed.
kind of does. But I think that's like supposed to be like a brand at this point because they're like always so self-aware of it. Like they keep referencing it and everything.
Yeah.
Have you actually seen Birdman?
Yeah, I love Birdman.
I only know Harvey Birdman.
Oh, Harvey Birdman.
Yeah.
Not Harvey.
That's not exactly the same thing, but Birdman's pretty good. I think you'd like it.
It's kind of similar.
It kind of is, yeah. But it's all made to look like it's all in one take, which I know you'd
Yeah.
like because of the cinematography of it. Story is also really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's left ambiguous in the end. But yeah, you definitely should watch that. And it's also technically a near-death experience, in my opinion. Well, I mean, depends what you think.
I think that was the first movie I heard the term artsy-fartsy.
That was the first movie that was artsy-fartsy to you?
Not to me. My teacher said it's like...
An
I saw it.
artsy-fartsy.
Was it artsy-fartsy? I don't know. It was a little much.
Artsy-fartsy.
I just think I was dumb.
What's your artsy-fartsy movies?
Can I get a definition for what that means?
like let's say like very experimental, very like weird, like maybe not typical in how it's filmed and how it's made. Like Birdman's a pretty good example. Whiplash kind of. Saltburn is mine personally, because Saltburn's one of those movies that like I brought it up every single time, and I will continue to do it, and I will track how many times I brought it up. Anyways, Saltburn is great for that. Another artsy-fartsy. Let me think. One more.
I know, I'm trying to think.
Lighthouse. Yeah, that's a good
is-
one.
Yeah, the Lighthouse is a good one. I don't know.
Do you have any, Jermaine?
Yeah. Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I fully agree with that one. That one's really weird.
Yeah. With
It's
Daniel
good, though.
Radcliffe. It's really good.
There's another movie he's in that I describe as artsy-fartsy. It's called Horns,
Horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Horns. Yeah.
which...
Shit, I'm trying to think if I actually know any movies that are kind of like that. Or if I watch any.
Artsy-fartsy.
I like I don't know if it's this, but House of a Thousand Corpses.
Mm.
I feel like that
Yeah,
would
yeah,
fall
that
into
would be.
yeah. I love that movie just for its like just for the vibe and the cinematography and like
I'm trying to think of a movie that's just all symbolism with no, like, clear dialogue. Like, The Lighthouse is pretty close to that, because
Yeah.
it's just, like, so much is happening that you have no idea what's going on. The Whale.
The Whale.
The Whale's artsy-fartsy. It's so artsy-fartsy, and I loved it. It took me out at the end because there's a moment where, I don't know if anyone's seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You all seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
The moment where, like, he, like, spoiler, dies pretty much, and he's, like, getting up to walk, and then he, like, gets taken off. He makes this sound that is so fucking... I don't know why they did that. It ruins the moment for it, because he just goes...
Wait, you just reminded me of a different movie that I feel like I don't know if this movie would be categorized as artsy fartsy because it's what was that movie called? The guy Tusks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tusk.
Tusk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Tusk.
artsy-fartsy. That's like Human Centipede.
Because that ending just reminded me of what happens at the end of Tusk, where
Just
he's
the
like,
noise.
"Oh,"
Yeah.
and he cries. Fuck, that was so. Or he doesn't cry because now he's an animal, and animals don't cry.
No, he does cry.
Does he cry?
I'm pretty sure he does have like a
He has a
tear.
tear?
Because they're like, oh, animals don't cry. And then he's like,
Mm.
and it's just like, I mean, he's still a guy. It's
Yeah.
not that he took out
Yeah.
his tear ducts. He's
Yeah.
in a
It's kind
suit.
of it's kind of fucked up that they didn't like try to like at least fix him somehow.
Yeah, they could have taken him out of the suit and then just put him in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
They,
have
just kept him
the-
as
what's
they
the
put him in
thing?
a zoo. That seems unethical.
Yeah, they have the thing that they give smokers where they put it against.
Yeah.
They could have done that. They could have Stephen Hawking hooked up to something. They just like zoo. And it's
Yeah.
just like, what?
They were like, "Shit, what do we do with this man that's
Like,
now a walrus?"
Psychologically, sure, he's a walrus, but like he can still kind of relearn being a person.
That movie's so fucked up. Anyway,
It is. That just makes me think of body horror movies. Like, I mean, it's just Human Centipede.
Yeah.
That's like the most body horror.
I've never been able to actually watch Human Centipede.
Oh,
I
I
have to
know.
like I do
I
this
was,
the whole time I watch it.
I had like a whole phase where I was like into all three of them. I didn't watch them, but I watched everything about them because I was like, I'm not gonna sit down and watch this. But it's weird because I think the second one is technically the worst for people
Yeah,
because I don't
what
know
you're talking about.
if anyone knows about it, but the first one, everyone knows about that one. But the second one, it turns out that the first one was actually a movie in this world, and this guy obsessed over it, and then he kidnaps people and then does it, and then it's somehow worse than the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he definitely one up.
yeah.
He did.
That
I mean,
movie
each
is
movie is supposed to own up, and the third one's insane because it's even worse, but it's not as bad from what I've heard. But it's weird because it takes place in a prison, and the warden's all like, "I want to do
I
like,
remember that.
yeah, he wants to
Yeah.
do something big before it's like his, retirement or whatever."
Yeah.
So he decides to make 100-person Human Centipede
so
with all the
weird.
prisoners, and in that world, the guy from the second movie works for him, but it's not the same guy or something.
I like want to talk to the. I really like wonder like when the director of that like pitched, like because I don't know who directed or wrote it, but whoever directed and wrote it and then pitched it, like
They're a bit fucked up.
how do they get to the end
Yeah.
and then it's like everyone's like in agreement that yes, this would be.
Like,
a
yeah,
good
this
movie.
is gonna be big.
I would just be like,
Amazing.
I'd be like, are you in therapy?
Yeah.
Are you
Are
okay?
you okay? You good?
Oh, another one that you just reminded me of though is the house that Jack built.
Yeah, I was thinking about that
Yeah.
too. That movie's
That movie's scary.
it
Chilling.
is so much
Yeah.
because I'm just thinking of like how many times he does all these things and the people are just like, no.
I'm just thinking of the
No.
picnic scene.
Oh, you just
Yeah, the picnic scene.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now we're just talking
Okay,
about
we should just-
we're just
I
talking
need-
about death this
We need,
entire
yeah,
time.
we need to pivot away from gore movies.
So cannibalism.
Okay, not again.
What do you think is a either like a genre or a series that really like changed your perspective on either life or the industry or anything you really that's impactful to you?
Oh, that's like a creator be consumed question, isn't it? There, he's on brand. I'm over here talking about cannibalism and death. Just a question for you, Nicole.
Oh, well, I think a genre... Sorry, what was the question? A genre that...
What was a genre movie or like a type of like niche that really changed your perspective on either the industry or yourself?
Oh, okay. I think for me, a genre that changed my perspective on the industry was romance.
Okay.
But like more romance dramas, not not like romance comedies, because I feel like those are always, like kind of cheesy and like, kitschy. But I feel like romance dramas, when I first was watching like Before Sunrise, movies like that, they really like hit me emotionally. Honestly, even like weird to say this, I think, but Star Wars Chapter 6.
Which one is that?
When Star Wars Chapter 6, when
The Jedi.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So like honestly for me, that was like a romance drama at the end. Like that made me cry. I cried at the end of Chapter 6 because it like in my opinion, that's my favorite Star Wars because I've seen almost all of them now. And I'm like on the the sequels right now.
The sequel trilogy?
I'm on the sequel trilogy right now. I'm on the second one. But that's my favorite one out of the whole series.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, it took me on a really like emotional journey. Like the other ones are like, they have the drama, but then they're more like action and like pew 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 and like, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. But this was like, why is he the bad guy? And also like, oh my god, like everything he lost, and like because I hated him. And then it's like everything that he went through and he lost.
Oh,
and
you
I
mean
was
Anakin?
like, yeah, Anakin.
No, that's the third one, isn't it?
That's
the third one.
Is that 3?
Yeah, because
It gets
it's
confusing.
3, 4,
Wait,
5,
it's-
and then 1, 2, 3.
Wait, it's 4, 5, 6 first, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So the third one.
Yes.
Yeah, 4, 5,
The
6.
third one, Star Wars
Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, Star Wars Revenge
I
of the
was
Sith.
thinking of Luke, and I was like,
No.
Sitting over
Sorry,
like,
I'm
wait.
like I've literally been binging them for like the last month, so it's like they're
Okay.
all.
I used to have the DVD
But-
box set, and that was like such a big moment for me. I don't know where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had it in so long.
But anyways, yeah, romance dramas, I feel like changed my perspective of how film can really emotionally trigger you.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
rap.
So with that, since you've just seen most of Star Wars,
Yeah.
let's go on to the Star Wars topic. What do you think between the prequel and the regular trilogy, which is
The original trilogy?
The original trilogy.
Which one do you think told a better story, like
Oh.
collectively together?
The original trilogy. Yeah.
I agree.
I
Like,
don't
hard
know.
agree.
Yeah, even though the prequel was like the third one was really emotional for me and like had a huge impact on me, and how I like thought about the characters and the plot and sort of all the intertwining like relationships. I think the original trilogy was told a better story in terms of like, I don't know, it just had a much more satisfying like. It's much more satisfying conclusion if you think about it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it's not a dude at the end who's being shoved into this suit for the
Yeah.
rest of his life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I don't know about the... Yeah, so I would say out of those two. I haven't finished the sequels yet, so... But I know people are
Did you
like
start
iffy on the
them?
sequels. Yeah, I just watched... God,
The
I don't
Force
know their
Awakens?
names. The Force Awakens,
That's the-
yeah. I just watched The Force Awakens.
What'd you think of that one?
I liked it.
Yeah, that one's good.
No, I liked it. I thought it was a lot more... I was stressed out more at the beginning of this one than any other of the Star Wars movies. Like, this one
Yeah.
started off high stress.
Because I remember seeing that in theaters, like, after, because I remember it was such a big thing. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, Star Wars is back.
What was the one before The Force Awakens? It was called, like... It was...
That was the sixth one.
Yeah.
No. The one before the
Oh,
Force
you mean like
Awakens.
the
I'm
not in
talking
the
about-
like the side stories,
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about the
Oh,
side
Rogue
story
One?
one. Rogue One, yeah,
Yeah.
Rogue One. Rogue One I loved.
actually haven't seen Rogue
got
One.
so
It's
upset.
pretty good.
It's so
I heard
good.
it
For
is.
like a film that's like Star Wars, because it's definitely a film that's Star Wars based,
Yeah.
but not Star Wars.
Yeah.
It did a really great job telling its own story.
Yeah, I watched that one after I watched the original and then the prequels, and then I watched that one and then the sequels. And I feel like it fit really well into it.
What about Solo? I heard Solo wasn't the greatest, but I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
No, okay, no one's seen it, so
It was okay.
it was okay. Does it
for
help?
Han Solo, it definitely, like, you can see where Han Solo from the trilogy, where he came from,
Mhm.
like the idea of who he is, but who he is not that.
So it doesn't match
Yeah,
up. They tried
it
to
doesn't
make
match up the
explain him,
character,
but it's like
it
no.
explains like who he becomes. Then that's
Okay.
pretty much
It's a fun heist movie.
it. Yeah.
It's a heist. So it's Ocean's 11 in space.
Yes.
Nice. Okay,
And
that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think I do remember saying something about Rogue One, which was about the fact that like all of the people were unique more than
Yeah.
any other.
Yeah.
I think it did
Once-
a good job of telling a story that, like you said, was Star Wars like adjacent, like related to Star Wars, but it's like because they had a lot of references to things like
Yeah.
obviously in the actual series, but it told a really nice story about just these two people that had their mission was the whole goal of the movie.
Yeah.
And their lives were it was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, and you can see it definitely gives you an idea because you get the world of people with powers, Jedi, and going around,
And the people
being
who-
strong.
Who win and survive.
This was a movie about fodder.
Yeah.
Just the people who
Yeah, I
fought
like those, though.
for them.
I love when
instead of the
movies
people
do
who-
that, where they have like
Like they won, but they also sacrificed themselves in
Yeah.
the process.
I love movies that do that because it feels like more. Because seeing like the character that you meet go to the end and win anyway, it's like, all right. I mean, you knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Whereas when you see them like go through it and die and like lose a bunch of people along the way, it means like a lot more whether or not they do it.
You see more of the struggles because it leads into the next movie.
Yeah.
So watching that and then watching the next movie, you'll go, damn, what Leia says in the beginning, like it was a bitch to get this. You see it. You see how hard
And it was
that
all
process-
from
You
one
see why.
line.
Literally
Yeah.
from one line.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. Who wrote that one?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it was really
It's like
good.
4 filmmakers in a room and no one knows.
Yeah.
Dylan, do you
I
know?
know I'm
I
better.
don't know who wrote it.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
Eric Edwards who directed it, though.
Oh.
He also did the new Godzillas, which is...
Oh,
You
don't
can-
get Dylan started on Godzilla.
Wait. Actually, I wanted to jump to a different topic real quick. What is your like favorite guilty pleasure like series? Like movie series. What's your favorite
Movie
But
series?
it's like so like bad, but you love it.
Does it have to be a
because-
series specifically?
It doesn't have to be a series. It could just be a movie in general. I'm just privy to. I just wanted to mention this because I personally am obsessed with the Alien and Predator series, and also
Those
when
are
it
good,
intertwines too.
Yeah.
I love them separately as separate entities, but then I love Alien versus Predator, and I know everyone is like, "Ugh, they're such shitty movies," but I love them. The fact that there's a whole world, like my thing
Yeah.
is like I love lore, and the fact that there's a whole world of movies about this thing, about these two alien species that I can watch. I love it.
Yeah.
I thought of mine, but it's not a. There's only one movie, but there's a lot more content of it. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. I
No, but you know what? That counts.
all the game lore.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it, and I like watched every video about it, and like organized it and had my own theories and everything. And I still kind of follow it, but I just never like. It's not something where I'm like, no, this is because
Yeah.
it's really interesting how much like work is put into it though, because there's books that explain so much. Then there's the games that all have their own stuff. Now there's the movie,
Yeah.
and now it's just like everything. There's nothing it's not in. They're doing an dark ride too, apparently.
Oh, wow.
So it's weird.
Yeah, I heard there were a lot of little Easter eggs for Five Nights at Freddy's fans in the
Oh my
new
God,
movie
I
that
know
came
too
out.
much
yeah,
of it.
There
there was like
it's
a lot,
bad.
There was a
like
lot.
from the music to just like set
Subtle-
dressing.
Yeah, subtle
Yeah,
details like background sets and stuff. Like you
Yeah.
really like. It was pretty cool seeing a collage of all of the games in one movie
Yeah.
and going, oh, that was.
They're
from
already
this
making
game."
like I think
It
2
was-
more.
yeah, it
So
was-
I'm like curious how they're gonna go about it.
For me, I think I don't know about bad, but Planet of the Apes, the new trilogy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I want to say
I don't think
That's
it's
why
bad. I
say
like. Yeah.
I love it, and it really like.
because even though it is talking about like the backstory
Yeah.
behind it, it does it in a way that's not like how some movies where they
Yes.
throw it all in one
Yeah.
movie and you're like, all right. This is like
spread
slow
out.
burn.
Yeah, and you really see the development of like not only you see the development of like 4 things throughout the series: the chimps, the humans, the disease that they create,
The Earth,
the Earth in general.
even their tribes.
There's so much that like these. It's like if Avatar was done like stretched out.
Yeah.
Avatar, Blue People.
The Blue
Blue
People.
People.
The Blue People Avatar.
Was like because I got a chance to watch the second one, so I watched the first one first, and then watched the second one right after. The pacing is completely different from each one. The second one is a nice, aesthetic, slow burn movie, while the first one is a fast paced kind of like gets you into the action, and watching them back to back is a huge it throws you off because you're coming from a high impactful first movie and going into a more spiritual, relaxed second movie.
Yeah.
And I know they want to do a third.
Did you see the trailer for it?
How's that going to play out?
Did you see the trailer for it?
No.
It's honestly, it looks pretty good to me just because of like it shows, like I said, the natural progression of like society. So where they're at now is all like, tribes and like now they're going into like worshiping things and like more, because I think in the second one it was about them learning a whole new culture. Yeah, like they were just starting off, and like I think Caesar's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah, and the newest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caesar died, and like it's weird because like isn't Caesar like supposed to be like the ape?
Yeah, but he taught all.
Yeah,
I know.
He taught
That's
all
what's
the
interesting
other,
about it.
He created a new species of ape.
I know, and it's crazy.
And
Species.
I can't wait to see because they already showed the development of humans in the third one.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what they have become after hundreds of years of having to.
Yeah, like now I think they're all pets.
Yeah,
like in the trailer they're like.
Is it gonna end off like the original Planet of the Apes, where the scene where all of the apes are just human-like now?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about how like it kind of goes back into like this whole the humans are. Well, now I'm confused a little bit.
About the 60s one.
Yeah, because in the 60s ones, I'm pretty sure most of the humans are like almost
humans are de-evolved.
Yeah, they're devolved, but then like you do have some that talk.
Yeah.
You do have some that do that.
Yeah.
And then like the whole main character like goes back and dies, blah blah blah. Do you think they're gonna remake those?
I don't know.
No, I think it's just gonna be like still leading up because it's not even there yet. It would still take a few hundred years.
That's what I mean. Where I'm just thinking of like, you got to think of like the executives what they want. Like I feel like because what they're building here is perfect, but do you think they're gonna be like, let's leave it alone, or you think it's gonna be like,
I think I'd prefer that. I mean, this is just something I feel about a lot of movies that get remade. I don't mind remakes if they like remake it in terms of like if they continue a series by like making a prequel or something, that's fine. But if they're gonna remake the actual movie, I think that's when they kind of lose their pizzazz. Because the reason
that's what I'm thinking.
The reason they were able to make prequels is because people loved the original.
Yeah.
So why remake something that was good already that people like?
and that's what I'm worried about because they're doing that with like other movie series.
Maybe they do a sequel. A sequel to
that would be interesting. Actually, now I think about it.
A sequel series.
God, how many movies are there in the?
I don't
There
know.
were actually sequels to the 60s one. I think there were 3.
There were sequels?
Yeah, there's
my God.
Beyond the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, is there more or less than this? Not Scream, but the.
I think there's almost 10 now.
There's 10.
With the new movies, the Tim Burton one, and the old 60s series. There's a lot.
I still think about that a lot though, because I remember. Doesn't he get with one of the ape women?
Yeah.
I think about that
think so,
sometimes. I'm
yeah.
just like, hold on, what's gonna happen here?
Then they're gonna turn. Then the apes are. That's what I'm saying. Then the humans
That's what
re-evolve
I'm
back
saying.
into
Is like,
human
would
beings.
it just be like
Yeah.
ape human hybrids?
That's just humans.
Yeah, that's
That just becomes humans again.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Unless they make like a whole new like because of this like disease or the Genesis vaccine that they put in the monkeys, it creates a whole new like species of humans, like another
Oh my
subcategory
I mean,
of a subcategory.
If you think about it, there were 9 species of human beings at one point.
See, and then the Uncanny Valley stuff happened.
Well,
Do you know about that?
Yeah, like the reason Uncanny Valley exists is because it allowed us to detect when other human beings were in our exact species of human beings. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
But then it's
facts.
like Neanderthals and humans, I guess, like just kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say figured it out. I'm pretty sure that it was a lot worse than that.
I don't even know.
I'm sure it was a
Figured it
lot
out.
less.
How they figured it out.
Yeah.
From the
I don't
depictions
know.
of them being like cave mongering barbarians. I just
Yeah.
don't see
That's not even accurate at
Yeah,
this point.
I
Like they
just
were
don't-
looking more into it, and they were like,
I think it has.
I don't think this is right.
I think it just goes. I think it has something to do with that. The like human beings' drive to conquest
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm just thinking about
they
this.
were colonizers.
We're still talking about death if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like we started with death, and we're still on death.
Do you guys like dinosaurs? I love
Everyone
dinosaurs.
likes dinosaurs.
I love giant chickens.
I'll go on. I forgot they're chickens technically.
Yeah, they're
I just go
birds,
on rabbit
technically.
holes sometimes where I just watch those dinosaur like documentary things, but they're like the
Like Walking
animated
with
ones or
Dinosaurs?
whatever,
Yeah,
like the movie
Walking-
Dinosaurs
yeah.
and Walking with
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
I saw
Yeah.
the show, like the live show when I was
Mm-hmm.
a kid, and I remember the T-Rex was like actually terrifying
Uh-huh.
because they program or they literally put in breath to it. So whenever it
Ooh.
like walks around the stage and it stops at your section and it roars at you, you hear it and you feel air. And I was young
Ooh.
enough that it terrified me.
So scary.
Actually really
Yeah,
sick.
that's
Yeah,
kinda
it was.
cool.
Oh my god, I went on a whole deep dive of like the company who does it because they also did the How to Train Your Dragon live action show, which is why like it looks great. But then they tried to do Kong the musical, and they made a
Here we are,
huge
we're on
80-foot Kong thing, and it did not turn out as well because of a whole bunch of reasons, but it was really interesting. I don't remember what the documentary is called. I can find it and probably put it in the description or something. But all I remember is that like they spent so long trying to develop the perfect animatronic puppet rig and everything that whenever it came to the story, it kind of didn't do well. So it's considered one of the biggest, greatest flops on Broadway.
Yeah.
And I just think about that because
Why
I'm
on
like,
Broadway?
I don't know, because that's what they wanted. That
was it
like the whole
original
girl.
music at least?
Yes.
Because the thing that
Everything was original.
Because I was talking to someone who went to a Broadway show, one of my friend's parents recently, and she was telling me that she went and saw a Broadway show, and they were like using like music that you would actually hear on the radio, so like AC/DC, and it was like cool, but it's like you wouldn't want that every time because
Yeah.
then it's like, why are you going to Broadway? Because Broadway's
That's
for
interesting.
It's a genre. It's called jukebox musical.
Jukebox
yeah,
musical.
okay, yeah. So it's like it was. I forget what show she went and saw, but it was some Broadway show, but then all the music was like relevant, and
Mamma Mia made that really big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just using like.
Dylan, tell me more about Mamma Mia.
Well, they've used the
Wait.
songs from.
You two get out. Go.
Really?
Just leave.
Okay. Bye.
All right, Dylan, come in. Tell me about Mamma Mia.
That's how it just gets switched.
So they used the songs from ABBA, this big Swedish pop band, and they just used all the songs and then just made a little tiny story around it where they're in Sicily or whatever. But really, it was just an excuse to get hot people to sing songs.